what I do is I decide to go south 40s with some anti-air because I see the presence of enemy air. So using my south 40s, I just start picking off the guy's infantry. I was thinking, oh, he's not going to play aggressive. And all of a sudden, he starts coming at me with anti-tank guns. Now, the best thing to get rid of those anti-tank guns is using the south 40s range. And what you have to do is you have to target them one at a time. So like that, they never get close enough to do any damage, because you can't do much damage with that. Then he starts popping up snipers, which is a very underused unit for people that play Japan, and it is surprisingly very, very effective. Right here I start facing a threat from the rear, a few Shermans, and I just send start off with 2 Laffys. I get a bunch of Laffys here and 2 B1s to take the brunt of the impact to slow them down, and I just completely destroyed those Shermans. In the meantime, when you look up here in the front, I am using combinations of infantry and other units, but the problem is my infantry cannot get anywhere because this guy has snipers. And the thing with snipers is they don't just hit infantry. They can take out unarmored AT, they can take out artillery, anti-aircraft. So they're really, really a good ranged unit. They really can stop advances. So I have to use my South 40s to try and get rid of those snipers, and really I can't use infantry right now. The only thing I can do is use South 40s. So as you can tell right now, I'm holding my front. This guy on grid on the other side is having some issues with his front because he has the majority of the Japanese air focusing on him, constantly destroying his army. On the other side, this guy who's called Ada, whatever he's doing, is not really doing much. He's mainly building admins. And as this game develops, I'm just really trying to hold the middle. My goal is just to stall as long as possible while I build an economy at home. Now you notice I'm diverting like 3/4 of my economy now to producing admins. And the fact that I'm able to hold off this guy who has not made a single admin yet while building a huge economy is very difficult, especially since they have the player and economical advantage. If I'm right, this guy, I don't know what happened to this guy, but I think he got bombed the crap out of him, or it was the early rush M15s that took him out. So that was great. So both teams were down to 3 players shortly in the game, but this is still no one's game to win. And right here, what you see happening is the Japanese player putting an increased amount of resources into the middle battle. Now in the meantime, I only have 5 or so admins, and the Italian guy who's really being our source of income, devoting everything. Yeah, right here I decide to attack to Lorraine's because I have a new threat. Japanese advanced AT is a big issue. So what I do to solve that problem is South 40s have very effective AP guns, and they won't automatically go into that AP gun range. So what you want to do is you charge your South 40s into the anti-tank guns, and then their AP guns will start firing, because their assault guns are not very effective against these kind of anti-tank guns. So right here I have a Lorraine's on the front to help me take out those guys. In the meantime, German dude here, who's got quite an army to be reckoned with. He's got some anti-tanks, some Panthers, and some horrible ones. Now the issue for him is all of these planes are grounding to his death, well, to Harvinger's death. Sorry about that. In the meantime, Italian guy on the side making M15s, advanced heavy tanks, and a lot of armored anti-air. So now at this point, it kind of looks like I have a bit of an advantage. If you look here, I can't really move here, and if I move here, well, I can't do much. The only way I can move is by destroying everything, and by the time I destroy everything here, he will have made more units to stop me. So I'm in a very bad position. Here this guy comes in with his Tigers. Unfortunately, his anti-tank guns aren't enough to stop those Tigers, so he is going to have to end up surrendering, which is very unfortunate, which means we start losing this flank, which is not very good for us, considering how it's doing in the middle. Now, both of them, none of them have made admins except for the person that was playing air, which puts us in a position where we will soon gain the economical advantage. Now, they have more depots. Well, they had more depots than us. I don't think they do anymore, or if they do, very little. So this is when our superior economy starts giving us a hand, but not really, because they have already so many units that with what we have it's very difficult to stop them. For example here, this guy who had not done much since the beginning of the game finally gets an army going. So he gets his little army going and decides he's going to attack. And he suffers a few casualties. Actually, that was more than a few, but apparently for him that's too much, and he decides to surrender. Now, what I learned from his mistake, or I knew what to do with that stack, is to drive it straight into this guy's base, completely destroying any chance of this guy's heir harassing me in any form of way. And as you can tell here, I'm having issues because my flank is collapsing. Because that collapsed flank, I had to divert everything here, and then the middle pushes in. So I'm in a very, very bad position. I'm in a position where there's not much I can do to stop those Tiger tanks. They just punched through anything I had. And so now I start making a little bit more Lorraines. Well, really, now is when I'm investing heavily. Like, this is just not even a quarter of my economy in the middle. And as you can tell, I'm just pumping out admin buildings like crazy. I really want to get the superior economy, because if you have a superior economy, you're basically getting the game for free. Or, well, winning the game for free. It depends how you manage your troops, but if everything goes well, you shouldn't have any issues. So right here is when my middle collapses. Tiger tanks can't seem to be much more efficient than Lorraine. So I have B1s, I have everything I had attacking those things, and here we have enemy infantry coming in. And the second I make infantry, it automatically gets sniped, and then those snipers start picking out my artillery. So I can't do much against that, because usually my counter for enemy armored Japanese AT would be unarmored AT. The problem with that is I wasn't able to produce any unarmored AT because of the Japanese sniper unit, which was constantly just destroying any unarmored AT I would send at it. So right now I'm pushing back the Tiger tanks, but at a great cost. The majority of my units have been destroyed, and here on the other side of things, as I said earlier, you have the the Italian dude's tanks, which I took over, completing the base. Now right here I tried to do a little bit of a sneakeroo around this guy's defenses. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but apparently this time I had no such luck. So right here what I have to do is start building up defenses on this front. I really have to hold out. I don't want to collapse back to this front, because crossing those bridges is very hard, and once you get locked into your zone, it's very easy for the enemy to gain superiority, because then they completely encircle you. So right now what's happening is I'm making French super heavy tanks, and apparently French super heavy tank, it takes 2 super heavy tanks to take down 1 Japanese advanced AT. So, and on top of that, that Japanese AT is very inexpensive. So you see how Japan has a very, very good advantage. Unfortunately for me, they have a very huge advantage over me. But if we look at the economical situation, now that I've lost the middle, these guys are started setting up depots in the middle to start and get their economy rolling again. Fortunately for them, they have no admins. They have 0. They have night shift, so their income is literally none right now. And on the other side of things, while they were trying to push and they were succeeding at taking over the middle, we diverted a large amount of resources to our economy, and this has given us a late game advantage. So right here, you can see that my French super heavy tanks are getting pushed out of the way by these Japanese advanced into A. So that is very, very unfortunate. Here I have some B1 heavy tanks to try and protect my base, just in case, you know. And in the middle, then, I just have my stack of tanks, which is all I really have left are South-40s. So I have a fair amount of South-40s now, and I'm trying to get rid of this Japanese AT, and I think I'm pretty successful at it. Not even suffering a single casualty, only a few routes. Now the problem here is that German dude comes around the back while all my troops are there. So you see, it's a very, very touchy situation on that side of things. In the meantime, you look here, and you can already see that my economy has grown a lot, and is still growing a lot. It is just like crazy. And they had enough units. The units they had were enough to crush me. Unfortunately for them, they weren't playing very aggressive with what they had. So that allowed me to build up this economy, to build up this army. And I'm just using here French super heavy tanks and advanced recon units from the French prototype base. And I'm just tearing through these guys, and I'm just going straight. My goal is just to go straight for this guy's air base, because he's the guy who's been causing me the most trouble. The air is really the biggest issue when you don't have air superiority. So here, my middle flank here finally collapses, which means I have to remake a flank on that side. In the meantime, for some reason, the German dude made an admin building right there, which I decided to arty, which was the smart decision to do. He could have tried to capture it, but then he would just cap it back, so artying seemed to be the more efficient way of handling things. And then, if you look right here, he's got a little bit of infantry hidden, and the German guy is finally closing in with his army of Tiger tanks. Now, while that's happening, I'm pushing over on this side, and also I've established a fairly strong flank here. I wanted to make sure no one was really getting there, because there was really nothing stopping anyone from coming in and destroying my base. So right here, I have a nice view of these Tiger tanks, which are pretty much getting ready to roll through my base. The only issue he has is Tiger tanks don't roll through FCM F1 tanks, which are the French prototype tanks with a French prototype recon with them. And that prototype recon does quite a bit of damage, surprisingly. And right here you see 4 French, actually there were 5 of them, but 5 French prototype tanks take on 8 or so Tigers fairly successfully. Now I do suffer a fair amount of casualties, but the fact that I still, well, maybe not won, but managed to slow them down considerably before they blew my shit up was very, very good. In the meantime, you have this army here moving up, and my army that was in the middle, well, sort of got crushed. But as this game is pretty much developing, it seems that the tables have turned in my favor. And when I say my favor, it seems that I have every advantage now. I may not have the air advantage, but I definitely have a far superior economical advantage, which is really everything you need to win a game of R.U.S.E. Which is also why, if you're a hacker and you use money hacks, it's really easy to win a R.U.S.E. and it's pretty pathetic if you lose. Now, I've beaten a hacker, doesn't mean I won the game completely, but still, I don't find there are actually that many hackers in R.U.S.E. It's only happened to me twice, and even then, it was very, very, one time I just got completely destroyed. The other time, as you guys have seen, I managed to completely destroy the hackers. So, right here, you see me rolling through the guys, well, my German guy's base, which his base got captured earlier on during the game. I'm sure you guys all remember that. And as this game is really just wrapping up, I have all these units just heading in the middle. And it's pretty much the end of the game. I have my 3 stacks, main stacks, just moving around trying to destroy enemy opposition if there is any left. And that's really the end of this game. And it was a very, very tight game, I have to say, guys. But I really need to tell you guys, if you don't know how to play air on the edge, do not start like that American dude did all the way over here, because it does not work out very well. Actually, it doesn't work out at all, as you guys saw. And I guess there's not really much to say left. Well, yeah. Sorry if my words seem to make very little sense right now. I'm kind of a little tired, but you know, I still have a giant stack of South 40s that I can have fun with. That's always nice to have. And yep, just enjoy it. Oh, that was bad. Right here, this guy tries to make actually a few Tiger tanks to bail him out. But, like, you can't match the economy I have at this point. They have almost no admin buildings, and I have a huge amount. Right here, you see a huge presence of enemy bunkers, which is why I decided not to roll in with my tanks, because that would have been, well, stupid. It would have been easy, but it's so much easier just to roll in with a bunch of South 40s. Like, look at this. It just So South 40s arrive. They have issues crossing the bridge, which is kind of the issue when going into any enemy territory. And now what I start doing is I pretty much, once my South 40s getting range, I just completely destroy everything in a single, just one single swoop. And look at that, that's beautiful. It's like rain falling down on people and stuff. In the meantime, I have a crap load of paratroopers coming in, and I have a shitload of fiber bombers. I'm really just trying to intimidate these guys out of quitting, which apparently is very successful after this guy sees, I'm not sure if it's this guy or the other guys that sees the giant paradrop. Yeah. So as usual, guys, thanks for watching. Leave your comments below. Please subscribe, and I will see you guys all next time.